What's up, YouTube, and welcome to Coddiwomple Overland. We're coming to you from Utah. We're in the Henry Mountains in southeastern Utah. We've got pretty much the whole crew here. Now, wait a minute. We're missing. Where's Mike?
Yeah, we rolling yet?
Yeah, we're rolling.
Oh, thanks for telling me.
Did you turn the fan on?
Yeah, it's on.
Mike's using the new Jolka. So anyway, we're missing a few more people from the group. Alan and Nancy are still in Kansas. They started the trip with us. We made it to Kansas and was getting fuel there. They had a fuel pump go out. It's taken them several days to get a fuel pump and get it put on, but they're supposed to be repaired. It's Sunday now. Mm-hmm. So they're supposed to be repaired tomorrow and going to be headed on out their way. So before we go a whole lot farther, we were supposed to be doing these live. We haven't had internet signal in 6 days. We're on day 6 of our 21-day expedition. Mm-hmm. And this is all being brought to you by Dan Cummins Off-Road, home of the Lifetime Powertrain. They're a new company, it's a new branch of Dan Cummins Auto Group in Kentucky, where they're doing not only selling parts and accessories for four-wheel drives and for Jeeps and things like that, but you can also buy a brand new or used vehicle there and have them install your lift kit, and it comes with a Lifetime Powertrain. Give them a check. Check them out, and they'll take good care of you. So, with that, how's the trip been so far?
Great.
Amazing.
Beautiful. It's been great. I'd like to personally thank Josh Cummins and Sam Cox for allowing us to experience this. This has been a trip of a lifetime. We've gone from alpine to desert, back to alpine. It's just, we've seen some amazing things. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, to put together a 21-day trip for 4 rigs like this, it's not an easy task. But the plan was to go from Colorado into Utah, down along the Green River on the west side, come back across, go back up through Moab, across the Rim Rocker, and into Colorado, where we're going to do Telluride, we're going to do Imogene Pass, we're going to do Engineer, Tin Cup Pass, all of those, and we're going to take you guys with us every step of the way. So, but we're 6 days in right now. We wanted to do this to where the viewers could ask us some questions and we could field some answers. However,
yeah, it's not going to work, is it? Not at all.
Where we've been so far, we haven't had cell signal at a single campsite.
No.
So we're going to talk about some of the things that we've done so far and what we've liked so far, and then a little bit of what we're looking forward to. So I hope you guys will hang around with us and listen to it. We're going to add some clips in here that'll show you just a little sneak peek of what's coming in the videos.
Cool.
All right, so we started in Kansas and made it to our first camp in Colorado. So what did you guys think about that campsite?
Gorgeous. It was just beautiful, breathtaking.
Yeah, I loved it. It was hard to breathe the first night.
Yeah,
I thought I was dying, but other than that, it was great.
Yeah, 9,000 feet is an adjustment for flatlanders like us.
Yes, yes.
Exactly.
You know, people call mountains in Kentucky mountains.
Right.
There's no comparison.
Yeah.
Our first camp night was a little over 9,000 feet.
Right.
So we didn't have a whole lot of time to acclimatize. We stayed just outside of, we camped just outside of Aspen, Colorado. And it was absolutely beautiful. The rock formations that were there, the overlooks, the trees, it was just breathtaking.
Gorgeous.
Truly was.
Yeah.
Right.
Literally, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally breathtaking.
Yes, it was.
You know,
Even for a bunch of gym rats like us.
yeah.
That's right. Picture of health. Yeah. Yeah. But we adjusted pretty quickly though, because we're at 9,000 feet again right now.
I was
that's
fine
true.
last night.
And it's after a week in elevation, it's good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, we've had, the rest of the days have been right around 5,000 feet elevation. And we gradually climbed yesterday until we got to this location. And nobody's been short of breath this time.
Right.
No. And you checked our sats last
Yeah,
night.
Being the medical group that we are, I guess, I do carry some extra stuff with me. And we were able to check our pulse ox and our oxygen saturation. And the first night, everybody was in mid to low 80s at some point.
Yep.
For the most part, we were able to maintain upper 80s, but you could still feel it. I mean, that was borderline hypoxic, and we had to practice some breathing techniques to get our oxygen saturations up, and it worked, and we did fine. But if you guys are coming out here, that's definitely something to think about. Take your time getting to elevation. We jumped into it a little bit too fast. We probably should have camped at a lower elevation, but when we found the campsite that we did,
And we knew we were jumping into it way too fast. I mean, we discussed that it was going to be a rough first night.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and just give yourself
worth it.
a little extra time to set up, and just realize if you're feeling a little winded,
Right.
just go at a little slower pace.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nothing
it's
wrong
not a
with
race. It's not a
Yeah.
hurry. So, Mike, what did you like about the first day, the first night of camping?
Well, the scenery was just perfect. You're in the mountains of Colorado, and it's green, and just the trees surrounding you and everything. It's just beautiful. There isn't anything I haven't liked about this trip. I think if you give any advice, is take your time. There's so much to see. Even you going through Utah, every turn is just a different rock formation. It's just amazing, and have an itinerary, but don't feel you have to rush from one place to the next because you'll miss too many things. But the first night we were there, it was just I hate to use the word breathtaking, but it is. You just kind of go, wow, these are things that you see in movies.
Right.
Somebody else does, not you. And then when you do it by yourself or experience it for yourself, it's just incredible. And to be able to do it with people like this is it's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's truly amazing out here. This is the stuff that people watch on YouTube, or they have watched in the movies, or all of their lives. And for me and Deb both, we've never been to Utah or Colorado.
Right.
And it's hard to sink in that, it's real, and we're really sitting here in an aspen grove. It's unbelievable. It's a trip of a lifetime. And just like you said, slow down, take your time, enjoy what's around you. You made a statement that stuck out to me several times, is, we've been through Utah and Colorado.
Right.
But we never enjoyed it, or we never experienced it.
Right.
What you say?
Yeah.
I've been through Utah, but I never experienced it.
Right.
Do you feel like we're experiencing it now?
I do. I mean, you could come back here time after time and still see something new.
Yeah.
Different.
It's not the same old, and it's really cool when you get to experience it through someone's eyes who had not seen it before
Right.
too. I think we enjoy that a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the first couple days?
First night was beautiful, and then it was like, okay, how are you gonna top this? 'Cause
Right.
it was just, and then the campsites just in the areas we've been staying have just been getting better and better.
Right.
Not rushing and just hanging out and seeing and taking it all in. But the scenery is just like, you go around a bend and it's something totally different. And I mean, you look like you're on the moon one minute and back to Earth next. And it's like, where you at? It's crazy. I love it.
So the second night we camped, we made it all the way to Utah, and it was dark when we got to camp. So the only thing you could see was some rock formations with the headlights. And I told the group, this is going to be a good site. It's one that I had picked out from satellite imagery, and I knew that when the daylight came up, that it was going to be another just killer campsite. And they all said, well, I don't know how we're going to top the first night's campsite. When we woke up the next morning, we were overlooking a place called Trin Alcove Bend. And Kelly, what'd you think about that? Because I've got video of you just sitting off by yourself, just in his chair, just gazing. And I don't know how long you sat there, but it was something to see you just sitting there trying to take it all in.
Yeah, I was probably out there 45 minutes. I got up before the sun, and I made some coffee. And as the sun came up, like I said, it was beautiful at night what we could see. But in the morning, once the sun came up, I mean, there's mountains to the south, mountains to the north. I mean, close buttes, and just beautiful red rocks, and then you look down into the river, and we're 1,000 feet above the river, and it's right down there. And it's just every direction you looked, it was amazing. And at night, you couldn't see a single light. There was nothing anywhere near us. We were literally in the middle of nowhere, and it was just beautiful in every direction.
Yeah, so the night before we looked up is when the meteor shower was there.
It's great.
So, you know, and you talk about no light pollution.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that we wanted to see was the Milky Way when we came out here, because everybody talked about how distinct it was and how visible. You know, out east, you see it sometimes, but you know, there's only specific areas you could see it.
But not like we seen it there.
Yeah, just out east, you just can't get far enough away from a city that's producing light compared to what you can out here.
Yeah.
Out here, I mean, we were had to have been 50 miles in every direction, probably more, to any,
from a significant city.
Any significant light source. And so, yeah, you could just look up and you could see everything. It was beautiful.
And it was a perfect place to see all the meteors. I know, Deb, we went to bed, I mean, it was 1 o'clock in the morning by the time we went to bed. And we left everything open, you know, on the OBS tent to where we could see, you know, see out. We got that big skylight screen. And how many more hours did you stay up and watch meteors?
Probably at least an hour just watching them, because it was like, it was constant. After about 1 o'clock in the morning, it was like you could see the meteors everywhere, the meteor shower. So it was really, really, really neat.
I think that's one of the best things about this trip so far is every night I'm not going to bed with a TV in front of me. I'm actually looking at the stars and taking in the beauty even till the minute I go to sleep.
Right.
That's definitely great.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, we have detached from
I've been
technology.
doing that,
And that's the nice thing about being out of cell service.
Yeah, we had to.
We had
but
to.
at
We
the
had no
same
choice.
time-
No cell
We were
service.
kind of forced, you know. We've been 6 days and have had spotty cell service here and there, but every camp
Right.
We've had
there's been nothing, which is great.
It is.
So we get up the next morning and try to take it all in, and you just can't. I mean, everywhere you look, we were truly in the middle of the desert. You know, so we leave there and go out the lower San Rafael swell, making our way towards Wild Horse Canyon. And that was a different, you know, I've ridden the dirt bikes in the desert, but nothing like what we were in there. You know, I've done that in New Mexico, but you know, and New Mexico's pretty, but the stuff that we were going through there was unbelievable.
Incredible.
The road was pretty nice. We were cruising 30-40 miles an hour through there, and then we make our way across 28 and over into going on towards Wild Horse Canyon, and we found a dry wash to have lunch in, and it was the only rock cliff or rock face there that you could get any shade of, and it was already over 100 degrees. So we actually seen some antelope there. They were taking reprieve from the heat in the same place we decided we wanted to have lunch.
Yeah, we chased them out.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Chased them out.
I'm sure they went right back after we left.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it was neat to watch. There was a spring there, and it had the old the old wooden troughs where they collected the water.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was really neat to be able to just kind of imagine stepping back in time to what people were doing there, and let your imagination carry you away.
Well, there were some hardy individuals that made a living in this land.
Absolutely.
I mean, we came upon that mine, and we don't know what they were mining. I think it's in a book that you have.
It is.
But you're way out in the middle of nowhere, and they had quite an operation. There was a remnants of quite an operation going on out there, and you start thinking, how did they get supplies? How did they get whatever product out of there? How did they
Hydrated.
sleep? Yeah, how did they eat? How did they drink? It's just those are some rugged individuals.
Yeah.
And our air conditioner hardly works.
Right. Well, and water is life out here, and that's not just a saying. It's not like, again, east. I've done a lot, you know, Minnesota to Texas and east. I've done a lot of not just this stuff, but hunting and just backpacking. You can find water out there.
Yeah.
If you've got, you know, some skills and some filtration and you just have a little bit of knowledge, you can find water. Not out here.
No.
Yeah.
Not out here.
There were several places that we passed that were noted on topographic map on Gaia as where a spring would be. Well, in August, you know, there's some greenery there.
Yeah.
You can tell that there's some moisture in that area, but we have made it through 2 or 3 maybe creek or river crossings that actually had some water in it.
Yeah, very few and far between.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but that area was powder dry.
Powder.
Oh, the dust.
Yes.
Bring an air filter.
Yes.
Bring an extra effort. You got to.
We're going to want it. Yeah.
Water and air filter.
Especially if you're third in line.
Yeah.
You're going to eat a lot of dust.
If you don't like heat, you don't like dust, well, sorry.
Yeah.
Might ought to go to Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we made it into Wild Horse Canyon, and the Slot Canyon going through there,
It's incredible.
just west of Goblin Valley State Park, is unbelievable.
Yes.
You can
Love that.
drive through the Slot Canyon, and it seems to go forever. I flew the drone while we were going through there, and Deb got to encounter her first real wheeling experience behind the wheel.
Yeah. I kept saying, can you stop that and drive? And then I was like, people are going to be watching this video going, what is he doing?
I'm like, no, you're doing great. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Well, and I was behind him, and I would forget that Bill was flying the drone, and then through that box canyon, I was like, oh, wait, the drone's up. That means Debbie's driving, and she was doing a great job, you know? Because there was some challenging stuff there. That's one thing that you can have a road that looks beautiful and graded, and then you can tell the last rain went through, and there was a big washout.
Right.
And there's a 3-foot washout you've got to navigate.
Yeah.
And it's not undoable. I mean, we're all on 37, so we're all capable
Yeah.
of doing some stuff. But you've got to pay attention, because a perfect road can become not perfect in an instant.
In one rainstorm.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
And we've seen that. I
Oh,
mean, with
yeah.
the washes that we went through was, you know,
Yep.
you know,
without the 37s, I don't think we would have made it through some of them.
there would have been
Yeah.
some places where we would have had to work a little bit to get Nancy and Alan through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we could have. I don't think we'd have had a real hard time doing it. However, they couldn't have gotten through it by themselves.
No.
Right.
It was definitely not something that the trails that we were hitting on the backside of that box canyon was not something that you wanted to do
Right.
No.
by yourself.
Right.
No.
Now
No.
for me, I know I had a grin from ear to ear because we're going through that box canyon, and I'm just remembering old westerns where you got somebody chasing somebody through the box canyons, and you got people running along the rim shooting at them, you know, with their Winchesters, and I'm just like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm on a horse. I'm not in a Jeep. That's kind of how I was looking at it. And,
Yeah. Yeah, it was straight out of a Western.
it was. When you guys see the video, you'll just go, wow, I know what he's talking about. That
Yeah,
is pretty cool.
it was absolutely amazing. So we made it out of there, and it was just unbelievable. And then just past that, when you go around the loop, this is where we found the mining,
Right.
the old mining operation, and that was quite They had quite the operation
That
going
was
there.
incredible. You just kind of go, whoa. I mean,
Yeah, that was really neat.
how did they do that?
Yeah.
And we found, luckily, where the sluice was, there was a big iron pipe in the ground, and they came back and welded rebar over it, because we were just kind of, yeah. And then Kelly says, that goes way down there. So I threw a rock in, and clunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was seconds before it.
Many seconds.
3 or 4 seconds
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
it hit the bottom.
So
That
it
went down.
It was quite the hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We come out of there and end up at some petroglyphs.
Yep.
Yes.
Those are interesting.
Yeah.
That was the first petroglyphs that we had seen,
Mm-hmm.
and those were really neat to stop and look
Yeah,
at.
those were neat.
Don't know what they said.
Yeah.
No.
No idea.
No,
No.
But they were.
they
They
said
were
something.
neat. There's,
Yeah.
Deb said one looked like a medicine man,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the other one looked like the other picture depicted a bison or some type
kind
of
of animal.
bigger
It was.
horned
I
animal.
I don't know if it was.
It was
it
really
just a
cool to
big
just
animal.
stop and look at.
Yeah, just to think thousands of years ago.
Yeah, the sign
Yeah.
said somewhere between 6,000 and 8,000
Yeah.
years ago.
Kind of
Yeah.
puts it in perspective just how not necessarily irrelevant you are, but how just history.
Yeah.
It's just so, gosh, it's incredible.
Well, and the thing I think about is, somebody doing that left their mark
Yes.
Yeah.
in history, and it's there for this long a time for us to see and encounter.
And enjoy.
Yep. So after that, we made our way on through the Wild Horse and making our way toward Factory Butte.
112 degrees.
Yes.
At
We were
6 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah, we were-
112
degrees.
degrees.
Yeah.
We were going to camp somewhere in Wild Horse.
Yeah, I'm glad we did.
Nobody wanted out air conditioning. Nobody wanted out.
Yeah.
No shade, but 6% humidity.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
that's
was
great.
nice.
So, and you talked about that. Hot is hot.
Yeah.
But, and 112 is hot anywhere. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Exactly.
But 112 here is nothing like 92 at home
Out east.
Right.
Exactly.
with 85% humidity.
That's right. Yes.
If it's 92 and 85% humidity at home, you can't breathe when you step out the door.
Yeah.
No,
And you're not sleeping.
Fully wet.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and like I said, the humidity down here, it does make it much more bearable.
Yep.
And also, unlike out east, it cools off so much in the
So
evening. We're
quickly.
still hitting 60
67, 68 in the desert.
in the
tonight.
desert, and so it's been very comfortable to sleep every night, even
Right.
if it's been 110 during the day. You get that 67 degrees at night, no humidity, always seems to be a slight breeze. It's been really, really nice to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And think about water. Make sure you hydrate
Yeah.
because
Oh, yes.
out east at home, when it's that hot, you are sweating your guts out.
Yeah.
Here, you're going to sweat some, but it doesn't. You can't gauge how much water you're losing like
No.
you all your life you've grown up doing.
Yeah.
Right.
And we
You
were
know.
talking about that, just having to, like, your mouth is so dry and your lips
Right,
are so
and
dry,
lips.
and we're constantly using chapstick and from just being,
Yeah.
Well, that's 6% humidity. Even
just
if you're not
sucking the water
sweating,
out of you.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
you're breathing out all of your moisture instead of sweating it out.
right.
Yeah.
So we got over near Factory Butte, and that place it was out of this world. I mean, literally, it looked like you were on a different planet. We
Yeah.
were on the the northeast side. Well, we ended up going around the northwest side too. But that whole area north of Factory Butte, just the colors and the terrain, it looked like we were on a different planet.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
And that's where Oscar lost his life.
Yes, Oscar, our drone, met his demise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Poor Oscar.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
So we were getting some incredible drone footage, and there's an incline there that's just it's so gradual that you really couldn't tell. And I was flying the Mavic Air 2 sideways, which has no obstacle avoidance. And yes, Matt McClellan, if you're watching this, I was in sport mode. So there's no obstacle avoidance at all. And I'm watching this and I'm thinking, okay, I'm high enough off the ground. Well, one of those random buttes that is out in the middle of the desert, the only one within 200 yards of the road, I hit. And Oscar slams into it at 41 miles an hour.
Right.
We got footage of the crash.
Yeah,
It's great footage, right up to the scene of the crash.
Yeah, and then Bill says, let's go find him. I said, 112. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You flew it, you find it.
You killed him. You go find him so we can bury him later.
That's right.
So we didn't want the buzzards to get Oscar.
That's right. That's right. And they were circling.
Yeah. We at that point we thought, man, what are we going to do? We don't have the drone, and that, I think part of the drone footage is what's going to. You can't describe this place.
No.
You can't. We can sit here and talk about it, and there's no way that you can put it into words.
No.
Yeah.
It's just, and even on the ground with ground footage, it's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Deb does a great job, and everybody's filming some now. And we've been filming the whole time, so trying to get you guys different perspectives. But the drone footage was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any kind of footage. You see something, when we first took our trip out here a couple years ago, you would take a picture of this monstrous rock formation, and you take a picture and go, they're not going to appreciate that. So whatever you see on this video, multiply it by 5 at least.
Yeah.
And that's how big it is. It's just huge.
Yeah.
So we made it to Hanksville after we left Factory Butte. We recovered Oscar, several broken arms, head injury.
Gosh, yeah.
Had a visitor in camp. Don't know if it was a wild burro,
Right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
but it was
We
a
thought
burro.
it was Mike snoring.
Yes,
And then we're like, oh, that's a burro.
so nothing like waking up and somebody passively calling you a jackass.
I think that was me. Sorry.
So we were close enough to Hanksville that morning to get to go on into Hanksville and get some cell service. And I reached out to Overland Video, which is a Facebook page, and Overland USA. And everybody that reached out to us and offered suggestions or recommendations, we really appreciate it. It gave us some good ideas of where to start, because we were at that point, we were kind of lost, okay? We were in the middle of, we walked into a store. There's a really neat store in Hanksville that is built into a rock cave.
No, that was cool.
And the first
That
thing
was cool.
Yeah.
the first thing I see when you walk in is a T-shirt that says, "Where the hell is Hanksville?"
Yeah.
So we were in "Where the hell is Hanksville?"
Yeah.
And finally got cell service. How are we going to get a drone or parts for a drone here? It was a Saturday morning. Apparently, Moab, there's nowhere, as many people fly drones in and around Moab. There's nowhere in Moab you can find drone parts. So if anybody has a business or wants to start a business in Moab, Utah, start a drone business, because we really needed it.
Dan Cummins drones.
Dan Cummins, there we go. Dan Cummins Off-Road drone.
Yeah.
So we ended up ordering one. We're going to have it shipped to Blanding, Utah. Should be there Tuesday morning. So we're going to be able to get our drone coverage taken care of.
And the areas we're going now are no-fly areas.
Right.
So
Yeah, the next
it
couple
came at
days
a really
we're
good
going to
time.
be we're going to be going through no-fly areas. So it happened at the best time it could happen.
Right.
So you may hear a little bit of a background noise. This is one of 2 vehicles in 6 days that we have had pass us on the trail, and
And it might.
it would be when we're shooting video.
Of course.
Right. Exactly.
Hey folks. So everybody's super friendly here.
Yeah.
Very
Yes,
friendly.
very friendly.
Yeah.
I like Georgia.
But there's nice people in Georgia too. They don't
Nobody
just-
waves in Georgia.
Nobody
right
waves
now.
in
Nobody waves
Georgia.
in Georgia.
It's a one-finger wave.
And we're like, we wave at everybody.
Yeah. But everybody waves in Utah. It's
Yes,
great.
they do.
And Colorado, where we were Colorado, they were cool there too. So we left Hanksville the day before, 112 degrees. We had some overheating issues with Mike's Jeep. The JKs historically have that hot oil problem, whether it's 3.8s or 3.6s. 3.6s are not quite as bad as the 3.8s. We had fixed our orange Jeep by doing the hot oil thing, by putting an auxiliary transmission cooler in front of the radiator, and that took that problem away. So we discussed it, and you know, we're still here for another 2 weeks plus, and we decided to take a little bit of time, run back up to Green River, where there was a service station, or actually a parts store.
Yeah, the
Napa up there
in Green River.
They took good care of us. We were able to get an auxiliary cooler. Laura scoped out an old service station that looked like it was in its heydays of the 50s or 60s. It had probably fixed its fair share of radiators there. You know, or overheating.
Got one more.
But they're still providing service. They have an overhang that provided shade for us to pull under and do the work. So.
Yep, and that's where we went to and fixed Mike's overheating issue. So we got that all put on. That hot oil problem is now alleviated. We were running warmer than we normally do. We were running, you know, 2 or 3 notches. When we would be under power and be under load, my Jeep would heat up a couple notches past normal, which was hotter than I wanted it to run. You know, at a time or two, we were almost 3/4 of the gauge, which is about 240 degrees. So we got to talking about it, and we decided it wasn't a fuel, or not a fuel problem. It wasn't not a water circulation problem, so it wasn't a thermostat, or it wasn't a water pump, because as soon as we would let off or as soon as we would stop, it would come back down to normal. So we were getting good flow. I went ahead and bought a radiator flush kit, and we were going to flush the radiator out to see if, you know, we had a restriction problem there. But got to thinking about it, and we had those little honeycomb black inserts that fit in the grill of the dash, or the grill of the Jeeps, to where you don't have those big openings for the radiator. You don't see the radiator. They look really nice. But I thought, you know, that may be restricting some airflow. So we popped those out, and that fixed our problem. So that was it was an air restriction problem. The factory Jeeps with the 7 slots, they're iconic, and not only are they iconic, they serve a purpose. So they help keep these things cool.
And your problem was speed related. The faster you went, the worse it was.
Yeah, if we were 35 to 45, you know, and not under a big load, or even up to 55, we didn't have a heating problem. But once we got 60 and above, then it was completely opposite. You think, well, I'm going faster, I'm getting more airflow. But it wasn't. What the problem was we was going fast enough that the air, the fan, was not pulling air. And it was actually, you know, like you said, Kelly, it was probably creating a vacuum
an
under the engine compartment.
An air dam right in front of the grill was causing this pocket right behind
negative pocket.
So you were just losing all airflow at speed.
So, and it would heat up, we'd slow down, it would cool off, and but in result, we got it fixed. You know, and then, so we've had a fuel pump failure, you know, with Nancy and Alan, and they're getting it fixed tomorrow, and will be out here with us. And then
hot oil.
The hot oil.
For you,
We had the death of Oscar.
The death of Oscar.
Kelly had his issues before.
You know, and even before the trip started, you had it. You were doing your final inspection on the.
I was fixing the winch. If you guys watched the last video, I lost my winch on the extension for, was it?
The LBL.
It was LBL.
No, it wasn't. It would be LBL when you lost.
LBL. I lost my winch, and I'd gotten the parts in, and I wanted to get the winch back up and running before I came here, and I'm under the truck, and if it weren't for Dan Cummins Off-Road, I wouldn't be here on this trip. I was losing massive amounts of fluid out of the differential. The driver's side differential seal had completely failed.
So your axle seal was junk.
Gone. I mean, not just wet, dripping. You know, so there was no way I was going to be making this trip with that catastrophic of a seal failure.
Right.
Just a sign of the times. Finding parts these days is not always easy. You know, called Sam Cox. Hey, can you guys get these parts? Let's do the U-joints also, just because that might be what took, you know, the seal out. And they got me taken care of. I'm going to tell you, I got it down there in 2 days, and they had me 4 days later. They had pulled apart the entire front differential, both seals, both U-joints, did the brakes. I had 3 millimeter of brake pad left, 111,000 miles on the stock brakes, and you guys have seen how I've treated this truck since the day it was new. But yeah, they got me going. They made this trip possible for me by getting me in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great service.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 They bent over backwards to make sure we were ready to roll for this trip. For me, anyway.
So once we got everything taken care of, and you know you've got your problem before, and then we got fixed up there at Green River, we made our way back down, down towards Hanksville.
Yep.
And started working our way towards the Henry Mountains.
We wore out Hanksville.
Yes. Yes. Hanksville will know Coddiwomple has been there.
Both of those people.
Both of the people in Hanksville will know. So we start up here, and it was 100 degrees at the base. And we were about 6,000 feet at that point. And we start climbing, and I'm telling them, you know, we're going to go up into the Henry Mountains, and we're going to camp in this unbelievable aspen grove that Deb and I had found on iOverlander. iOverlander is a great app, by the way.
It is.
And there was pictures of it, and we had seen it, and knew that there was an aspen grove up here, and this is where we would like to camp. We've always been kind of fascinated with the aspens, and so we're starting up, and it's nothing but scrub pines and Douglas pines, and
yeah, we were there.
everybody is saying
with both hands.
Everybody is saying, there's no aspens on this hill.
I wasn't seeing it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was coming. It was just all pines, you know.
Yeah, you even said to me, "Are you sure we're in the right place?"
But it, you know, and as it's went throughout the whole entire time, every time you turn a different bend, it's something different.
It is.
You know, it's like we said earlier, you're on the moon one time and you're back to Earth, and then you're back up there, and it's been different the whole entire time. Just the sights have been incredible.
Yeah. So we made a stop about halfway up the mountain in the pines to a pretty cool overlook. Overlooking out west, you know. And we started to leave there and make our way on up the hill, and Deb forgot something. So we about had another catastrophic event.
360 and being able to find your phone where you leave
Life 360, not only does it help you find people, but it helps you find your phone when you leave it on the fender of a Jeep and it falls off.
Right.
So we had to stop and go back and retrieve Deb's new phone that she's had less than a month.
Right.
So then Kelly takes the lead, and we head up following the trail on Gaia.
They found the aspen grove that I'd been talking about.
We were coming up, and we were thinking Bill couldn't find an aspen with both hands.
Because there was not much scrub pine.
No. And but we came around the corner. Kelly pulled in, and it was just there it is. There's the aspen grove, and there's green little vegetation on the ground. And we pulled into the right, and there was 2 deer 20 yards from our Jeep, and they looked at us and kind of took a couple steps towards us, which was weird. And Kelly says, "You have 4 more behind you."
Yeah.
And we just sat there for about 25-30 minutes just watching those deer. Just kind of, they weren't spooked at all. And this is how Bill found this from Elliott County, Kentucky is beyond me. It's good camp finding skills, Bill. Thanks.
Yeah,
we appreciate that.
And the wildlife here is incredible.
Yep.
I mean, here in the Henry Mountains, we have deer and there's elk and the bison are here. We heard the coyotes last night, and Kelly. We're not sure about what happened to Kelly this morning.
Yeah, right as I was waking up, something bumped my rainfly pretty good. I mean, it was, yeah, something.
Distinct thump.
The old distinct thump. I don't know if they hit the rainfly or the guy wire on that one, the north side or east side. But yeah, when we were looking again this morning, because this dirt around here is pretty loose. It's,
yeah.
Black
And
garden soil.
we had a little bit of rain last night, so you could tell
fresh and
what tracks had been beat in by the rain, and you know what tracks came after the rain. And we're not going to call a spade, right?
Yeah, no.
But it was probably black.
It was probably yeah.
And the partial print that we found,
Yeah.
it had 4 toes.
4 toes, 4 claws.
Couldn't really see the back pad.
No, yeah,
but
because
it
was
was not.
obscured.
Yeah.
It was not.
No, it was.
It was good size.
Yeah,
It was good
Yeah,
size.
it was
Real
about
big.
that.
Yeah, it's got that big now.
That big. It was a grizzly. A monster.
It might have
Fish
been,
stories, right?
it might have been that bear checking to see if we had a fire.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's Smokey. That's what it was.
That's right.
Just checking
yeah.
out.
So he's just checking in on you.
Yeah.
So the old adage, you know, Kelly's really taken one through the team for us. The old adage of you don't have to be the fastest guy in camp.
Right.
You just have to be faster than the slowest guy in camp. You don't have to be up as high. You don't have to be the highest guy in camp, I guess you could
No,
say.
not the highest.
You just have to be higher than the lowest guy on the ground.
In the ground.
Higher than the guy in a ground tent.
Yes.
Yes.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'll be the canary in the coal mine for you. I'm happy to take one for the team.
Wash your shirt and ketchup.
Like I said, if a bear eats me, he's gonna have to get his cholesterol checked.
That's for certain. So we're going to hang out here for just a little bit longer and enjoy some more of this Trail Rated coffee.
Yep.
Trail Rated Coffee is a company that's based out of Colorado. They take a portion of the proceeds and give it to Tread Lightly or to other trail conservation or repair type things. So a portion of the proceeds, when you buy Trail Rated Coffee, goes towards taking care of the trails that we love and helping us be out here. And that's why that we wanted to partner with them and, you know, and make sure that we drink their product and support them because they're supporting us. And I would encourage everybody out there to do the same. We have had 4 different blends. We've tried 3 of them so far. We've tried Mojave, Dalton, and Cliffhanger. And we have Imogene that we're going to try tomorrow. So on the next one of these episodes, we're going to go around and talk about each one of them and which ones we like the best. So with that, we're going to hang around to these aspens just a little bit longer, and then we're going to make our way on over on the other side of the Colorado River, and we're going to make our way up from Blanding, and I guess we're going to Coddiwomple our way towards Moab.
Their name.
All right, so thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Only about 10% of our viewers are subscribers. We have a lot of return viewers. They're just not subscribed. So I would encourage you to do that. It really helps us out with the algorithm and suggestions and gets our videos out. We appreciate that. And we want to make sure that we thank Dan Cummins Off-Road. You know, putting this together with 4 rigs and 7 people for a 22-day trip was not an easy task. And if it wasn't for Dan Cummins Off-Road, it would have been very, very difficult to do. So we appreciate that. Not only can you get parts from their new store in Georgetown, Kentucky, but you can also get on their website at dancumminsoffroad.com and order stuff. If you buy a vehicle from them, they will install lift kits, they'll install tires, winches, whatever you want for off-roading or overlanding. But if you buy a vehicle from them, you can buy a new vehicle, you can have it completely outfitted the way you want it. Lift kit, tires, winch, bed rack, new OVS tent, new awning, whatever you want, and you still retain the Dan Cummins lifetime powertrain warranty. And it doesn't void your factory warranty either. So check those guys out. They're on Instagram. They're on Facebook, and they also have their new website open, dancumminsoffroad.com. And with that, thanks again for watching. We hope you've enjoyed this. If you want to see some more about what we're doing, continue to watch. If you have questions about our trip so far, leave them in the comments below. When we do this again in a few days, we'll answer those questions. Hopefully we can come to you live to where we can answer real time. We've just had a struggle with cell service so far. But until the next time, you guys enjoy. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you.
Lunch.
Break. Break. Concessions.
This one worked.
We got that one.
I'm sitting still until